welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new here, welcome, and for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel I do planner and planner related videos, DIY tutorials, budget videos, and the occasional new release video of items that I've listed to my Etsy shop. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you hit that little notification bell, you'll always be notified of when I load a new video. Commenting, liking, and sharing does help my channel grow and would be truly appreciated. Okay, so you are joining lesson 13 of this hand lettering from a beginner for beginners series that I'm doing, and today what we're going to be covering is capital letters. As I've mentioned in previous videos, if you have any sort of fundamental experience with brush, modern hand lettering, whatever you want to call it, then this may not be the lesson series for you. However, if you have either wanted to or have tried but just failed at attempts at hand lettering just based on books that you've purchased, then you may want to start at lesson 1 and then just watch the whole series. So again, today what we're going to be doing is capital letters. As you've been doing in the beginning of your lesson, I want you to put the date and the big E. I actually want you to do 2 rows of the different strokes that we've covered, and then also I want you to do the lowercase letter of the entire alphabet. And once you have that done, go ahead and bring me back and we will get started on the lesson. Alrighty, so with the capital letters, I've been watching quite a few different tutorials here on YouTube, and it's basically like this lettering style here where it just seems to be open to interpretation. So if I look at the books that I have, and again this is a DIY workbook that I did, where I took workbooks that were book bound and then just put them on the disc because they're just a lot easier. If you look at the capital letters here, that's one style, and that's from this book. But if you look at the capital letters in this green one, then they're definitely a little bit fancier and a little bit wispier. So depending on what book you have, what person you're following, the actual uppercase letters can vary from person to person, book to book. So like I've been doing, I'm just going to show you how I'm going to interpret this, and we'll just go from there. Now I wanted to do all pinks, but I think the pinks are too similar, so I'm just going to add an orange to the mix. This is my Kuretake Futabiyori, and I've got the Pentel Touch, and I've got the mild liner brush. Those are my go-tos in my brush pen selection. All right, so for the capital A, and I guess I should have explained this when I told you to go ahead and do your alphabet. You're going to want to leave some space after the letter because we're going to put the capital letter version of it right next to it. Sorry guys, I definitely should have mentioned that. And hopefully we'll have enough space. I think that N might be problematic, but we can put it there. All right, so for the A, what we're going to do is we're going to go up light, and then come down dark and a little tail. And then you can just put either a straight line or you can do like a little zhuzh like that, make it look fancy. Now this tail is optional. If you do want to connect it to your next lowercase letter, then go ahead and add it, or you just may want to just come down blunt and then not have it connecting. And when we're done with the actual alphabet, then we can practice some letters and see how it looks between adding the tail and not. For the B, you can make little fancy zhuzhes, but we're going to just make it as easy as we can. So we're going to come down heavy, and then we're going to do an oval, and then we're going to do an oval, And then again, if you wanted to connect it to another letter, you would just add that additional. The C is pretty straightforward. And this one, we will do a little zhuzh, because again, it is entirely up to you. But if we do sort of like that, looks all kinds of horrible. Yeah, because that looks like just a giant E. All right, well, that's what we're doing right now. And then for the uppercase E, we're just going to do some half ovals. So thin, thick, thin, and then thick, and then a little tail right there. And then for the F, thin going up, thick coming down, and you can go like that, and then another little zhuzhy thing like that. And if you have lined paper, this might actually be easier with me with my dots. It's hard for me to scale the different letters because the baseline here for this should be the same, but my E, I mean, those are on the same baseline, but they're not the same baseline as that one. So again, if you're using lined paper, again, it might be a lot easier. For the G, you can just do a large G. So start up here by the ascender and do a big oval and come down, and then just go ahead and make it large. Again, this is just one version of how you can do it. For the H, you would still do your ascender. And actually I did that wrong. The way that I've been seeing it is they would come right up into the line there and then come down and then do their connector. So again, that depends on just, it's really awkward because I haven't been practicing it. This is actually the first time I've been trying to do the letters based on what I've seen. So yeah, Gold Star Teacher moment once again. So up, and then the I just kind of looks like that. And then the J is just a bigger version of this. Now you can do the J like the cursive J, where you would come up and then come down and then come up like that. Or you could do the J where it's not connected and then come up like that. Again, that's just all personal preference. And the more you do your lettering, the more you're going to see how much that actually takes into play, because some of these letters just look kind of weird to me. So for like the I might just do a straight up and down versus more the script thing. But again, I'm only really wanting to do this for my planner, so that's perfectly okay for me. And let's see if we can try one of those loopy things. So for the K, and then unlike this small K, which always looks like an R to me, this one truly would just be the K, and because it's both downstrokes, it's going to be thicker. For the L, again, if you wanted to add a little fancy loopy thing, come down hard, and then you can kind of flare that out, make it look like an arched foot. For the M, we're not going to do the little loopy thing. Clearly I haven't been practicing, so my strokes aren't very consistent. But this, we're going to actually go back to the regular M that you would do if you were writing just regularly, not script or cursive. So that's just like that. And again, you can add the little zhuzhy there. You could add a little zhuzhy there, although this comes down, so I don't know how you do that. So yeah, for the N, we'll do down here, and it would be the same way where you'd come down, and then go up thin. again, adding the little zhuzhis as you'd like. For the O, that's actually the exact same thing, just larger. And for the P, it actually would be the exact same thing, except instead of going below the baseline, everything's going to be above it. So you'd come down, and then you could go right into your large oval and do that little fancy thing if you wanted to. Although I suppose if you were connecting, you'd want to do the connecting right there. Again, depending on what you prefer, you may not want to connect your capital letter with the rest of your letters. For the Q, it's just a very large oval. And then it's got that little, I don't know, it's sort of like a mock overturn because we are starting up thin. For the R, it's going to look like a large lowercase k. So you'd come down and oval and then up like that. And again, be careful with your transitions from your downstrokes into your up because you do want that to be thinner. For your S's, it just looks like a normal S. So I guess you could curl it out that way. Doesn't look too bad. T is really easy, and you can either go straight across or do a little, I don't know, looks like kind of like if you put another line, that's a symbol for pi. That's what that looks like to me. And then you can do the zhuzh or not. So come down, come up thin, come down. V again, it's just a larger version of that. And I didn't leave a lot of room down here. But for the W, let's start up here. And let's, instead of doing it a straight lines like that, and I'm hoping this is in frame, then we can just go ahead and do some curves. And then come down and then go up. X is the same way, and we've talked about this where even though both are coming down, you only want one thick just for the look of it. So you would come down thick if you wanted to do that one. And then this one, even though you're coming down, you just want one of them thick. Your Y is just, again, a larger version of the smaller letter. And then the Z, it's that funny looking 3 thing where you come down and then you come down and you go like that. And for the Z, you could make this a small one and just bring it down to scale. You can make this the large one and just bring it up in scale. Again, all of these letters, you can adjust the way that either feels comfortable to you or it just looks better to you. And the pink and the orange next to each other is, it's kind of like highlighters. That's what it looks like to me. All right, so let's do some practicing where we look at lead-ins with letters and we look without. So let's do the word apple. So actually, we'll use that as sort of a guide. So if we do it with a lead in, let's finish our letter. And we would do, oh no, I wouldn't do that with the P. I would just come straight down, so that's already a mistake. And then I would come straight down again with my oval. And finish with my E. All right, that doesn't look too bad, although the scale from the A to the rest of the letters isn't that great. So let's try the A, but without a connector, and see how that looks. So let's come up a little bit higher and down, and we'll just make that blunt. Close that off, and then come down with our P. And connect that. I'm not sure if I like it connected or not. I think that looks like a nice transition, but I think I did my letters better here, so that could be part of why it doesn't really matter to me for these two. So there are some letters like the T. The T would not be able to connect the W because it ends up there. I think all of the other letters you could connect in two. N you wouldn't be able to because of where it ends. And I think everything else you'd be able to, just depending on where you bring in. So let's say we do the word cat. So it's just a larger version. And we connect it. And I don't want the little bubble thing with the T, so I come down and connect it there. But let's try that little zhuzh thing again, see if we can make it look better. So, and we'll stop. We won't connect, and we'll see how it looks. So we'll do our oval. Oh, I should have come down thicker. And then our T. And then that looks like eat to me. So I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I need to be wispier, if that needs to be thicker. I'm not sure. We can thicken up these things, but that definitely looks like eat to me. So I'm probably going to do my cats like that, and I'm probably going to do the connections. All right, let's do one more word. And we'll start with an I. Let's see how we can make that look. So if we do thin up, thick down, and we go right into the D. That looks weird. Oval. And then we would do our E. And our A. I don't know that that looks entirely like idea. So let's just do a line. And I guess we could do like the T, where we do a little zhuzhy thing like that, because that definitely looks like an I to me. And then we go into our D. And E. And A. And I definitely have not practiced, and you can tell because not only are my mountains and my transitions just horrible, but my transitions from my thicks into the thins, it's just, you can tell like right there, that shouldn't be like that. All right, so again, as we're going farther along in these lessons, I don't know how helpful this is going to be. I think it just depends on the word, whether you're going to leave a gap or if you're going to do the connector. This one I definitely think looks better than this. I guess, you know, because I just assume words should look a certain way. This definitely looks more like eat to me than it looks like cat, although I do like the connecting to it. So I would definitely recommend to practice, and you might want to just do a few sheets of these where you do the letters side by side. Again, if you have lined paper, it might be a little bit easier, more so for scale than anything else. And then you'll be able to see how the letters go, and then you also may want to practice some words. So we are going to finish our lesson with doing the word hello like we have been. And we'll do that little H-y thing. So, I mean, you could just do the H, but let's try to be a little fancy. And clearly we're not going to connect it because I picked up my pen, and then we'll go up into our L's and our O. That does not look too bad. This is quite a tangerine-y kind of orange color. Just fix that right there. And then for the second word, what can we do? Let's try lesson. We'll do it with the pentel because I don't actually have a lot of space there. And so we'll do a little fanciness and come down, and let's connect to the E and go right up into the S. Ooh, double S's. I suppose that's how that's supposed to go. I don't know how it would connect any other way. And then come out, and then we're going to do our oval, and then come down. Oh, that's a hard word. And then down. Yeah, that's hard. And because I'm using such a small pen, the transitions don't look great. That doesn't look great. There's not a lot of mountains to compare. The spacing between the letters, like between the E and the S, looks okay, and then it just seems to get farther and farther apart. I'd have to work on that word again. All right, guys, well, that's the end of the lesson. Really, now we're getting into individual style and how you interpret it, because from what I've seen, there is no one set. This is the alphabet, and then you go. It's basically, well, some people do lots of zhuzhes, some people do lots of straights, some people are on the slant, and I mean, it's just, it really does now depend. So there's really no actual fundamentals for the capital letters as there seem to have been for the lowercase. And if you just wanted to avoid that altogether, just make all of your words lowercase. All right, guys, that's it for me for now. Thank you so much for following me on this journey. We do have 2 more lessons to go. And as always, aloha.